Oh, God. Mama won't buy me David Dobrik merch. No, she won't stick her sticky fingers in her.
Hi everyone, my name is Pia. Nice to meet you. And fun fact about me, while you're already here, I've always flown out to places with a +1 with me. Whether that be my mom, my uncle, or my boyfriend, I would always have somebody with me until this one time I had to fly out to Orlando to attend Playlist Live by myself. Just the thought of walking through the airport, trying to look for my flight, walking through PSA, boarding the flight alone, and being on the plane by myself gave me so much anxiety. But my experience with trying to figure things out in the beginning was not bad at all. Now, the airlines that I chose to fly with, however.
We know you have lots of choices, so thanks for choosing American. We're happy to be your airline.
When I found the gate to my flight, of course, I just wanted to make sure. So when I got to the gate, I went straight to the lady by the desk to ask. She was smiling, she was in a good mood, and so I thought, like, great, I'm sure she'll be nice enough to answer a question. Right when it was my turn, her smile disappeared. She was looking at me like I was dirt, but I still kept my cool. And I asked nicely if I needed to check in, if I was good, and she just nodded her head to say no. I wasn't worth her words. I wasn't worth her time to even waste her saliva on me. She was just like...
We're happy to be your airline.
To that, I was like, okay, thank you. Then it was time to board the plane by groups. And while that was happening, they announced that if you were in group 9, there would be a high chance that there wouldn't be any more space in the overhead cabins for you to put your luggage in, so you would have to go to the front desk and get checked in. Of course, I look at my ticket and I was in group 9. Why wouldn't I be? I went to the front right away, and of course it was the lady, the very, very nice lady that was helping check in bags. And this is how everything went down. Hi, just wanted to check my luggage in. Oh, you can just put that underneath the seat. Are you sure it's going to fit? My luggage is kind of chubby. Okay, doesn't say anything else, and she just slapped a tag on my luggage, and she muttered a few instructions that I didn't really understand. I just thought I was just gonna figure it out before I board the plane. And so I board the plane, and she wasn't my problem anymore. And before I stepped on the plane, somebody came up to me and took my luggage and just rolled away with it. And suddenly my brain did a lot of overthinking. Oh my god, what if something falls off? What if something breaks? Where do I get it? When do I get it? What if I don't get it at all? Of course, I wasn't physically showing that I was panicked. I was just like, oh my god, what if something falls off? What if something breaks? Where do I get it? When do I get it? And so I got on the flight. The flight on the way wasn't bad at all. But the pilot did mention our flight was going to be a little bit delayed. And so that got me worrying a little bit because I didn't want to miss my connecting flight. But why would American Airlines give you an option of flights that would possibly conflict in times, right? And so I landed, and the gate of my connecting flight was just literally right across from the gate that I came out of. So I went to the desk, asked the lady that was there, and she scanned my ticket, and out loud she said, "This flight left 5 minutes ago." Yep, you missed it. I didn't really have much words to say after that. I had no emotions.
I just arrived from my first flight. Literally just landed. The plane literally just landed, and I just got out of the plane and went to the gate that I was supposed to right away. I didn't even go anywhere. But guess what? I missed my flight. How do they schedule a flight that's close to each other, that's connecting flights, and it's possible for me to miss it? Now I'm stuck in Phoenix. My flight's gonna be pushed back until they figure this out. Waiting for 3 hours isn't even the problem. My problem now is that I checked in my bag and I don't know where it is.
So at this point, I was mad, I was upset, I was confused, more so mad. So I went to get a new ticket and had to wait 3 hours for my next flight. No big deal. I can just edit a video, grab some food, do some work at the airport, no big deal. Of course, I lost the rest of the footage. But I am determined to finish this video because I feel like it is worth my while. So continuing on, I finally get my ticket and I get to the gate, and of course I head straight to the people at the front desk again because I have no idea what I'm doing just yet. This is just my first time flying on my own. This is my first time missing a flight. This is my first time period, and I just wanted to make sure. But again, the people at the front desk were, let's just pretend that my cat is not here. Pretend that the cat is not here at all. But I just wanted to ask her if what I had in my hand was an actual ticket already, or if it was a boarding pass and I needed to exchange it and check in and exchange it for an actual ticket. So I showed it to the person, she looks at it and she goes, "This is a ticket already." Oh, but I just wanted to know if I needed to check in or if no, it's a ticket already. You don't need to. You just sit and wait for your flight. Okay.
We're happy to be your airline.
So I finally got to Orlando, and my next mission was to look for my baggage because I have no clue where the baggage claim was. But thank God for airport signs, you know, they just tell you like baggage claim here. And you follow the arrows and it's just like common sense. And so I got to the baggage claim. Everybody and their mamas was waiting for their luggage because the luggage was delayed.
I'm finally in Orlando. I honestly don't know what's happening. Somebody help, but I'm just waiting for the bags to come out because right now everything's delayed. Everybody's just waiting in the lobby. So fingers are crossed that my bag is still alive.
So we were there for what felt about like 15 to 20 minutes. Bags started coming out and I finally found her. Thank Jesus.
Nope. 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 Oh my god, she's alive. Oh my god.
And so I grabbed my bag and I was just so happy because thank God she was there. Like, she came through, honey. Justine picked me up, aka Life with Justine. You can check out her channel down below because I was going to stay at her place and I was gonna attend Playlist Live with her and everything. And so the next day when we were getting ready for Playlist Live, I pulled out my makeup bag and oh, mind you, this was my first time opening up the zipper to where all my makeup was at. My makeup was all cracked. I have proof. You see that? Focus on it. Do you see that crack right there? It wasn't there in the beginning. Do you see that? I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. Those weren't there when I packed it up. Those weren't there when I was still in San Francisco. The makeup is safe, the makeup is cheap, still usable, but the fact that my belongings are partially ruined kind of got me upset a little bit, even if these weren't expensive items. Like, imagine if I would have just put my MacBook in that luggage, then what would have happened? Stay here. I mean, like, I could just imagine how they loaded up my luggage and just threw it into whatever storage they threw it in. They just probably just... So I went about my 3-day stay. I attended Playlist Live. I went to Disney World, but then it was time for me to fly back. Getting to my gate wasn't a problem for me anymore because, of course, the first time I was flying out to Orlando, I already gained that experience, and so this time around I was a little more confident in what I was doing and where I was going. The first flight wasn't that bad, except for that baby in the row right next to me that just projectile vomited all over its parents and just cried the entire flight, you know, but it's fine. I got to my next flight and it was in a newer plane. Like, you can just tell it was a newer plane, like a more modern, a bigger size, like everybody had room for their feet kind of plane, and I was all here for it. And what got me excited is that there were so many vacant seats, even the seat right next to me, which was a window seat. I remember flying out before and I can just transfer over to the seat that I was right next to if nobody claimed it. Because during my flight to Orlando, back to Orlando, I've always been in this middle seat. I was just waiting for everybody to settle in, and when they finally announced that we can buckle ourselves in, and that's when I plan to move to the seat. Mr. American Airlines employee comes in with his piece of paper talking to another employee. We were all just minding our own business. We were super quiet. Everybody was like reading a book, was on their phones, listening to music, you know? And then this guy comes in, becomes the center of attention. He was talking to this other American Airlines employee saying like,
"What do you mean you thought it was okay? Of course it's not okay. Everybody should be seated to where they are assigned. You, ma'am, you're not supposed to be sitting there. Move to your assigned seat, please. You, sir, you're supposed to be sitting right here."
Like everybody was already jumping seats and he was telling everybody that it was not okay. He was just not having it. And in my head, like, why is it such a big deal? While he was doing this, the guy that he just told to move seats asked him a question. I wasn't really paying attention. And when he asked that question, that guy that had the piece of paper looked at him and he was like,
"What? I'm not a flight attendant. I just told you to sit down."
oh.
We're happy to be your airline.
From there, I got home safely, everything was good, and yeah, that concludes my American Airlines flight experience. If you are flying out for the first time, I recommend just paying extra for a non-stop flight. I personally just wanted to save money because it was like $100 extra to have a non-stop flight. In my personal experience, I am never going to do that ever again. Thank you very much. Second of all, why is my makeup cracked? You didn't just safely put my luggage down, did you? You just threw that shit elsewhere and didn't care how it landed. Not cool. And lastly, why are all your employees so grumpy? Are they okay? Do they get 30-minute breaks? Do they even get 10-minute breaks in between their 8-hour shifts? Because they don't seem to like their jobs. And if people don't like their jobs, it really shows. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a thing or two. If you are a first-time flyer or you've never flown out ever in your life, I'm not one to complain a lot. And I really hope I didn't come across as being very entitled in this video. I was just simply sharing my experience and expressing my frustration with all of the things that happened to me. I am really trying to post more consistently on this channel. Our family is growing every single day and I can't express how much I'm grateful for that. Even though we're not at 1 million just yet, I know it will happen in the near future. But yeah, I do appreciate each and every single one of you for your support, for watching me, for telling me how you like my personality. Shout out to Sunchild Gina. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.